There's something my wife has kept for over 30 years. She kept it from everyone, a secret she told nobody. We didn't know it for the longest time, but it was actually an eating disorder called ARFID, right? But I just thought she was a picky eater. She just didn't like to eat different types of foods, and I was like, come on. But anyways, we'll get into all of that later. Tell us more.
You guys, this is a very hard one for me to share, but I figured it might help someone out there, so here we go. I was just gonna dive right into it.
Let me give you a massage.
Oh my God.
Ready? Go. Say it.
It's really not that serious, although it is serious. I have been afraid of food my entire life. And I'm talking afraid to eat, like having anxiety around food. And I carried that with me all through my years, even into marriage, until very recently. And I'm gonna share all about it.
So when you say afraid of food, what does that mean? It's like, food is there, you can just put it in your mouth and eat it.
It's like, think about it, right? First day of work, you're like excited for a new job, or you're like maybe nervous about the job, the new company. I'm not nervous about none of that, okay? I'm nervous about who's gonna take me out to lunch, where are we gonna go to, what am I gonna eat, am I gonna like the food, or am I literally just gonna be sitting there, right?
Okay, so if you're going out on a date, when we were dating, right, before we got married, I assume you were going out on a date, rather than being nervous about the date. You're nervous about the food you eat on the date.
100%.
Wow, okay, now you gotta unpack this for us, because this is some juicy bits, and I'm curious to know, what does that nervousness look like?
I think it's a nervousness of like embarrassment that literally in an entire menu, I'm not gonna find one thing that I like to eat.
So is it because you're picky eater?
For the longest time, I thought I was a picky eater. Like I was like, yeah, I'm just picky. Or I used to describe myself as having an interesting relationship with food. Like, because it's like, how else do you explain like just not being able to eat when other people are eating? Like I'll watch you like just eating. And I'm like, that's so cool. Like I wish I can eat, but I just couldn't eat the food. So I think it was way more than being a picky eater.
So you just couldn't eat the food? Like you couldn't put it in your mouth and chew it? They didn't make you throw up? They didn't make you gag? Or were you just like, hey, yeah, I don't like that. That's gross?
I didn't get to the point where I would be able to try the food and then start gagging or whatever. Like I just shut down. Like I see the food and I'm like, yeah, it's not for me. Like, it's just not for me, and I just don't eat it.
I sense that there's something we need to unpack here, like something deep-rooted, something generational. Let's break it down.
Generational. Oh my goodness.
Right? But I feel like there's something more to this. So when did this start?
I suspect that it started when I was a baby and I had severe allergies to the baby formula. I remember my mom telling me that I would have like hives all over my body. They would have to rush me to the hospital. At some point, they stopped giving me like the baby formula, and they would have to like order baby formula from the UK for me, like a special baby formula. I'm guessing like one that was more like for people with allergies, like more just tolerable for me. And that was how I was able to cope with that. I just know that I was always in and out of the hospital. And even into my toddler years, like I still kept having allergies to foods like bread and just gluten, dairy, just things like that I was allergic to.
So you couldn't drink milk, you couldn't eat bread, you couldn't do things that other people could do.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. So they cut that out of my diet as a child. And I think that may have influenced my behaviors towards food as an adult.
Okay, so your siblings were eating bread. They were having bread and tea. That's the thing in Nigeria. And you dip it in the milk, hot tea, eat it. Yeah. And then you're just there eating crackers or something like that, right?
I just would not eat.
Oh, you didn't even eat at all? Okay.
I would eat, but like, yeah, maybe like things that don't make sense, yeah.
Okay, so over time, how did that turn into your fear of food?
I think over time, I had like my favorite foods that I would eat. Like I love to eat yam. I loved I loved plantain. I had like specific things. Even rice was questionable. Like there were times where I would eat rice and I would want to throw up. Like I struggled a lot. I don't think my parents knew that. They just would be like, why didn't you finish your food? And I'm like, because I can't. Like I just can't. So yeah, there were just specific things that I could eat and tolerate. And those were the things that I just had on repeats nonstop.
So it wasn't just that you didn't feel like eating the food. Like when you ate the food, it made you want to throw up, and it just triggered like some sort of emotional, maybe not emotional is a word, but some sort of psychological reaction or physical reaction in you.
For some foods that I tried, yes.
Okay.
For some other foods, I just genuinely had a fear of it, and I just never tried it. Like, it's like when I want to try it, I just can't get to the point where I'm even eating it or trying it.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Like, for example, there was a Sunday morning, everyone was getting ready for church, we're having breakfast, and the whole family is having bread and tea. And, everyone's eating it, whatever. And of course, per usual, I'm not eating it because I don't eat that stuff. Like, it's not meant for me in my head. And so my dad is like, yeah, eat your food. And I'm like, no, I don't want to eat it. I can't eat it. And he's like, you got to eat it. Eventually we get in the car. He makes me take this bread along with me.
Oh, and I trust your dad. Your dad is serious.
He is very strict. So I take it along into the car, and he's like, you got to eat it before we get to church. But I just held on to the thing the whole time, and I didn't eat it. And we get into church. He didn't see it. I just kind of hid it. I hid it under the seat or something. I just hid it. Eventually we go into church, we come back out, and eventually Daddy sees that I didn't eat my food. I didn't eat my bread. So no, I feel like this day was one of the most traumatic days for me, because the way that I remember this so much, and for me specifically, that made bread one of like my biggest fear foods, like even till this day. Like just walking down the aisle in a grocery store, and I don't know if you know this, like the bread aisle, woof, it's a lot. It's like
wait, hold up. You're in a grocery store, you're walking down the aisle, there's bread here, freshly baked bread that smells like heaven.
The smell just puts me off.
It puts you off.
Yeah, like it's almost like I've been traumatized by that experience. Like
I didn't know that.
I know you don't know that because I don't say it.
I feel like a horrible husband, because many times I'm like, babe, just taste this slice of bread. You can do it. You can do it.
That's the peak of my fear foods.
Wow. So let's go back to the story of your dad.
Yes.
So he saw the bread under this car seat.
Yeah.
What happened next? Because that's important.
So he said, you have to eat it, or we're not going to give you anything else. I'm like, cool, don't give me anything else. Like, I can handle hunger and starve myself. Like, I would literally starve before I eat something that I don't want to eat. Like, if I go somewhere and they offer me something, I just go, oh no, I'm not hungry. Like when we were dating, right? I would visit him and he's like, hey, let's eat there. And I'm like, oh, I'm good, not hungry at all. But I'm actually starving. So Daddy forces me to eat it. I say no. He eventually starts begging me. He eventually starts saying, okay, if you eat it, then I'll give you candy. If you eat it, then I'll give you. None of that worked. And I didn't eat it at the end of the day. It was very, for me, like I said, it was traumatic. Like I was, I can't eat it. Oh no. I'm crying and hyperventilating. It's just a whole scene over just bread.
If you know my wife, times she gets dramatic, like if there's a bug next to her.
Oh my gosh.
So you can imagine her hyperventilating over that. Like you can imagine. And you know what's funny also, as she said, right? When we were dating, many times, we'll go to a restaurant and I order all these beautiful things, these amazing things. I'll order cream of crab soup, or is it crab of cream, whatever it's called. I'll order like tomato pesto pasta, something like that, right?
Tomato pesto pasta?
I forget the food. What makes me glad is tasting food from different cultures and savoring their flavor. And the thing that comes with that is the foods have different aromas, right? Some are great, some are not so palatable. But then I'm eating them in front of my wife and I'm licking my lips and she's like, whoa. And then she orders, a standard was chicken and fries.
Oh, wow.
All our dates
throw me out there like that?
All our dates were chicken and fries. And I was like, are you sure you don't want to eat that coleslaw next to you? She's like, yeah, no, I'm good. I was like, okay, I guess she's, trying to diet. But if you're dieting, it's not chicken and fries you eat. You'll probably eat salad. I didn't get it, right? Because in my head, I was like, what's going on? But I'll gladly take a food because, as I said, I'm a foodie and I like eating. So I'll keep eating a portion. Eventually, we are here.
Yes.
You share your deepest secret with the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Why and how? How did you get to this point? Because I know for the longest time, even me, right? You kind of kept it from me, but you weren't comfortable talking about it.
Yeah.
And now you're telling the millions of people out there.
Millions. You guys better watch it in the millions. I mean, at some point, I got help, and a lot changed since then. I've gotten help. It's been like at least a year since I got help, and I just feel like there are people who could use this information. I know there are a lot of people who struggle with what I've now been diagnosed with, which is ARFID. But in addition to ARFID, I'm sure there's other people who also struggle with other forms of eating disorders, and I feel like this could be helpful for them to know that help is available, and it doesn't have to end there.
Let's unpack that. ARFID. You just threw a term out there. What is ARFID? How did you know you were diagnosed with ARFID? And it's so just, food preferences or something like that.
ARFID is avoidant restrictive intake food disorder.
Okay.
ARFID. What it means is there are people like me who have ARFID, and we avoid a whole category of foods for certain reasons. For whatever reason it is, it differs from person to person, and we just stick to whatever our comfort foods are. For some people, it's the one comfort food. For some others, I think I have a generally wider range of foods that I'm okay with, and that's why I'm able to kind of like just cover it up. But I do know that I needed help.
So you learned you had ARFID. Great, but how did you even learn you had ARFID? Like, it took you 30 years to learn that.
It did. 30 years of suffering is what I would call it. So one day I was on TikTok and scrolling through social media, and I saw this guy eating a banana. And for me, bananas I love it. I grew up eating it. And this guy is like, it's a whole scene just to eat a banana. He's like shaking, he's hyperventilating just to take a bite of a banana. And he says that he has something called ARFID. And it literally was like something clicked in my brain. Like, hold up. If he has ARFID, this is how I act towards eating other people will consider like normal foods. And so that made me think that, perhaps I might have this thing that this guy has. And so I literally left TikTok. I went on Google. I started searching, what does ARFID mean? How do I know if I have ARFID? And just reading more and more about it, I realized, girl, you might have this thing called ARFID. And so I started to seek help. I started to search, like, where can I get help? Where can I get therapy for it? Like, what is the solution? What is the treatment for ARFID? And that's how I stumbled on Equip Health, which is who I went to therapy with.
First of all, I'm very glad that she stumbled on the video and then she found Equip Health, because my wife, her eating is amazing right now. It's, there are things she loves, there are things she still doesn't love. She's making progress.
Yeah.
But tell us about Equip, right?
Sure.
When you found Equip and then you read their website and then you learned about ARFID.
That same night when I found Equip, I signed up for therapy. The biggest selling point for me with Equip was that they were virtual therapy clinics, so I could do all my therapy sessions online through video chats with my therapist. They had a whole team around them. They gave me a nurse, a therapist, a dietitian, and a peer mentor who had been through exactly what I had gone through before, and I loved every minute of it.
By the way, initially I don't think I knew like she was going to go to therapy for eating.
She didn't get it.
I mean, for context, I had tried years and years to help her. Right? We've been together for almost 18 years.
Yeah.
And all throughout this, I'm like, why don't you taste a bite of this? Why don't you taste a bite of this? Just a small bite of bread. Okay, pizza. Okay.
So one day we went out on a date and I think it was to Rusty's Copper.
Yeah.
And you were telling me to order something. And I was like, no, I want to get this. And you were like, trust me, you will love this. And I was like...
Oh, yeah, it was the cream of crab soup. Yeah, because you love crabs.
Right. Yeah, but you see, the thing is, ARFID is not logical. Like, I love crabs, does not mean I'm going to love cream of crabs. So he put so much pressure. He was like, babe, trust me, you're going to love this. And I was like, no, I don't want to get it.
I even ordered it and I gave her, just take a sip.
And then at that point in time, I broke down and started crying.
On a date, she started crying.
And he was like, oh my God, no. It's okay, you don't have to try it anymore. And I was like...
So anyways, the point is, I had tried to help her for so many years and I just couldn't connect to her in terms of how to help her. I don't know these things. I didn't know there was a process. I didn't know it was a disorder. Now, talk to us. How did the therapy go? What happened? What did they say that suddenly changed you?
Okay, so for context, this was my first therapy ever.
Okay.
Like, ever. I'm talking any kind of therapy. So I didn't really know what to expect. I was very nervous about it. I don't know why. I just felt like nobody would ever understand. Like, the people who kind of realize I'm, in quote, picky with food, they always make fun of me. So I really wasn't expecting them to understand per se, or really to be able to help me. And I also figured that I've lived this way for so long that it's probably too late at this point. Like, I felt if I was a child, then therapy may have helped, but I thought it was too late. So I went in there kind of like my chest up. I'm not expecting much from this. But the way that my therapist just kind of listened and understood and like acknowledged, like, oh yeah, what happened when you were a child? And that was what made me go down, deep down into my childhood. And she asked all these questions and she was so understanding. She heard me, and the way that she reassured me that, yeah, there's help available. Like this, you don't have to live this way the rest of your life, and you're in the right place. And I just broke down crying, and I was like, I'm sorry I'm crying, but like I didn't think anyone would be able to help me. I started therapy, and I've had 2 sessions. One was like the intake session. The intake session, let me tell you, I cried the whole session. It was so embarrassing. To ask me all these questions, like, tell me about your childhood, tell me about this experience and that experience, and like just remembering certain things. Oh my gosh, like just a whole lot of tears. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. If this part of my life can be changed in 2024, I will be happy. I'll update you guys on how it goes. So I was really glad that first day was just kind of reassuring that, okay, I'm in the right place. And by day 2, I was like, all right, let's get into it.
Wow.
What do I need to do?
For 18 years, well, then it was 16 years probably, right? I had been trying, like, just come and try this. And then after one conversation with Equip Health, she was like, what do I need to do to try bread?
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, that's so unfair.
Yeah.
I've tried, but hey, I guess I don't have the experience.
Exactly. I think it's beyond just, hey, try this. And going back to, like, for me, they did the food exposures. For food exposures, my therapist and my dietitian worked together to say, hey, let's list out all your foods that you quote your fear foods, and let's put them in a hierarchy, right? So we had the things that were like my biggest fear foods. And we're not going to start there, right? We're not going to start from day 1 with bread. But what are things that are like low-hanging fruits? Like maybe you're curious about it and you might be interested in trying it. And I said, well, maybe cucumbers, they look interesting. I might want to try it. And they say, great, let's start with the things that are like low-hanging fruits. Okay. And you don't have to start by like literally just getting a cucumber and taking a bite out of it. You start by just touching it and feeling it, right? And so I said, okay, I can do that. And then after that, you can start by smelling it.
Oh.
I can do that. And then maybe after you've touched it, you've smelt it, you've felt it, you might want to take a teeny little piece of it, bite of it. And I did that, and you helped me with that, remember?
Okay, so I see why all my previous attempts failed, because I just went straight to try bread. And it was like, take a bite of bread. I mean, the idea of touching the food and smelling it, like, what? First of all, I'll never have thought about that. It's like, why? Why would you smell your food? Just eat it.
Yeah.
But now I understand, if this causes a severe reaction in your mind, right, then it's like you need to kind of overcome that before you get to the point of putting it in your mouth.
Yeah, the biggest part of it was the anxiety, right? My brain telling myself that it's just kind of shuts off when it sees these foods. It just shuts off and it's like, no, that's not for you, don't try it. And so I had to overcome that anxiety and start like gradually.
You know what that reminds me of?
Yeah.
It reminds me of whenever I go on a website and I'm trying to buy clothes for myself. My brain literally shuts off. Like, it's like there's a block in front of my head and I cannot see or think.
Yeah.
So I kind of get it a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the first time you ever tasted cucumbers, what was that experience like?
Ooh, surprisingly, she helps me a lot. So I think you were a great assistant. And that's one thing that Equip does. They bring in your support person or people. So he was my support person, and he actually met with my therapist as well. They had a whole session together. So he helped me with my first food exposure, and he said, just think about cucumbers like green watermelons. He knows I love watermelons. So I was like, oh, okay, I could do that. And then that helped me to just take that first bite. And I was like, you know what? It's actually not bad. It's just kind of like a refreshing fruit, maybe. Like, it doesn't have the sweetness of the watermelon. But I can work with this. Okay. So it wasn't bad, and now I actually love cucumbers.
Congratulations, baby. All right. So you overcame cucumbers. What was the next thing? Celery.
I tried celery. Shay was like, he also helps me with that, and he was like, maybe chicken without any flavor or seasoning on it. I was like, bruh.
That was a hard sell.
That one was way off. I smelled it. It didn't smell like anything I was like used to. And then I tasted it and I was like, I don't know. But again, with therapy, they tell you have to try it, I think 7 or 10 times, I forget. But essentially, you have to keep trying it over and over and over again before you actually know whether or not you truly like a food. Because it's okay to not like certain foods. Like normal human beings don't like every single thing they try, and that's okay. But you have to try it enough times to know that, okay, truly, this is not for me.
So when you tried celery and cucumber and then you went back to your therapist and your peer mentor and everybody at Equip, what did you tell? Like, what was the experience like when you spoke to them?
They were very proud of me, and then when you do that, of course, they say, okay, the next thing we're gonna try. So it kept getting, more and more, in quote, challenging, but I would say they kept pushing me more and more to do things. But again, I think it was manageable because I had my peer mentor who literally went from not eating a whole category of foods to now saying, hey, I can help you with this. Like, I've overcome that and I can help you with this.
So tell me all the types of things you tried throughout therapy?
I'm gonna try to remember, but I tried a whole bunch of veggies because veggies was something that I struggled with. I would usually like blend my greens into my smoothie instead of eating them. So
Yeah, that just kind of shows you how, ARFID is really just a psychological thing also,
it doesn't
right?
make any sense.
She will not eat vegetables, but she'll blend vegetables in a smoothie and eat it.
Yes.
And, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's why you really can't understand the human brain sometimes. And sometimes you really do need like that professional help that Equip gives to really just figure it out.
Yeah,
continue.
it wasn't
Veggies.
logical. Yeah, so I tried green beans, I tried spinach, I tried
Oatmeal.
I tried oatmeal. I tried.
That was a food you swore you would never eat at all.
Because like the text for me, I struggle a lot with texture. I struggle a lot with like a bunch of things. Let me not even get into it. That was interesting. So I would blend oatmeal into my smoothies, but just to eat it as like a breakfast food, I struggle with that.
And then when you tried strawberry flavored oatmeal, if I remember correctly. Not just normal oatmeal, okay?
Yeah, the taste was good. I struggle with the texture of it. I tried meatballs.
Oh yeah, I should have never done that at all.
That was very interested.
But anyways, this is good. These were all foods that she had never, ever tried.
Yeah.
No, not that she had never tried. I had tried to get her to try.
Yeah.
And the look she gave me, I went to rethink my life. And now there she was like, hey Shay, I want to try this.
I know.
Come be my peer mentor. No, not peer mentor, my support system.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and do this. And I mean, I'll tell you, I was very proud of her because she went from like this being scared of food to being this adventurous, a bit more adventurous than before. Still not as adventurous as I am. She still hasn't tried cream of crab soup. I'll still get her to do that, but yeah. You did all this. So what's your life like now?
So it's been a few months post-therapy and a lot has changed. Like she said, now we will go out to eat together and he orders something that I'm not used to eating and he says, do you want to try it? Or sometimes I even say, hey, I want to take a little bite of that. I think for me, it's just a joy on Shei's face. He's like, you're gonna try it? Like, this is the stuff I begged you to do before. Like, I begged. Oh my gosh. Now it's like I'm more open to just exploring. Like, I'm curious about food. Like, when I see a new food, I'm curious about it. So I might not eat the whole plate, but I'm curious to see, like, what does it smell like? What does it taste like? What's the texture like? I'm curious to explore it. That for me is like a huge change in my life. In the past, like when I would watch videos of like maybe people cooking or eating something that I'm not used to, like you should see my face. My face is like,
oh, jeez.
But now,
I remember that. I have stories to tell. Like, her face would be like you brought the most disgusting thing right in front of her nose to smell. And now she's like, I wonder how that tastes like.
Yeah, but now I look at it with curiosity, like, this food is purple. Like, I wonder why it's purple. I wonder what it tastes like, I'm super grateful that I did therapy. And for anyone who's struggling with this, I want you to know that recovery is possible, regardless of how old you are. I was, 36, 7 when I did that. And as busy as my life was as a working mom with so many things that I was juggling at the same time, I was able to attend these, virtual therapy sessions. I dial into the therapy sessions. It was super convenient in the comfort of my room. I dial out and I just get right back into my schedule. Recovery is possible and Equip can help to offer that recovery to you.
If you know someone dealing with this issue, if you know somebody that, if you yourself are dealing with this issue, you think you know someone that maybe they're being picky with food. It's not actually about them being picky, but something else, right? If you see them gagging, shaking, or just being irrational about food, share the series with them, right? Tell them, hey, check this out. See if this is something that, speaks to you. It's a situation that you're dealing with. Tell them, hey, check out Equip Health. They have more information on their website that can help you figure out if you have ARFID. Schedule a consultation and see if from your conversation with them, you can transform your life and your eating, right? Because this life, oh Lord, there's so many delicious flavors that you don't want to miss out of it. So yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I want to say a big thank you to Equip Health for sponsoring this video. Equip offers virtual therapy sessions for people who struggle with ARFID or other eating disorders. So if you have an eating disorder, visit Equip Health to get help that you need today.